Greetings, YouTube. I am getting up there on 4 years, a whole U.S. presidential term, the time when it's not a pandemic, between Summer Olympics worth of videos on YouTube concerning Marvel Contest of Champions. And I cannot think of a weirder day to talk about than today. It's just been a really, really, really weird day. I reviewed the offer. All I cared about for my account was Mutant, so I didn't even think about looking at classes, because when's that ever been a thing? And then I got bombarded with messages that I actually read while I was playing tennis, because it's the first time I've been able to play tennis all year, because as much as I like to cause a racket on YouTube, off it's even more fun. And a long story short, a week ago I was having all my pipes burst and losing my house for weeks, and today it was like 66 degrees. Welcome to Oklahoma, right? So I heard from several of you who were trying to rank 3 your Corvus, but you couldn't get Cosmic Catalyst fragments, tier 5, because Cosmic didn't exist. But then magically you logged in a couple hours later and it did. And I guess it actually existed on Android before iPhones, which is also fascinating. All right, so that was the first real weird thing that happened today. But then these champion spotlights came out, and I was like, I'm probably not going to do a video on these. I mean, it's kind of boring. But then I was bombarded with a second string of messages, especially on Twitter, of all places, that, Prof, you got to talk about this BS shady hood buff. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, I misspoke. It's not a hood buff. It's a hood nerf. And then I got sent a bunch of really great messages about the community's very own Cat Murdoch, who did a fantastic job describing it in detail. And I did not want to steal their thunder by putting it here, so I would just say look up Cat Murdoch and give them some love. But in the meantime, we've got a champion spotlight for the hood, which also reminds me, because I grew up very poor, if somebody was to tell me, hey, the hood's getting nerfed, I'd be like, oh, am I moving trailer parks again? Because that's kind of how that felt to me. About the hood, who cares, right? Let's just scroll straight down. Strengths, miss with Hood's update. He has his miss more consistently. Use this to deal with some hard to dodge specials and find more openings on your opponent. That's an internet phrase. Stagger, Hood has near constant uptime on his stagger, letting him deal with tons of buffs with ease. Weaknesses, nullify Hood's invisibility as a buff, so be careful with fighting against anything that will remove your buffs, aka, Mystic champions, nullify champions. Okay, so following stats, blah, blah, blah. Okay, Hex Pistols, which also sounds like a internet phrase combined with a band. The Hood's bullets persist from fight to fight within a quest. Nullify a buff, load 2 bullets, make the opponent miss while invisible, load 1 bullet when the invisibility ends. Hex Pistols, medium attack, special 2 buffs. 100% chance to fire a bullet and inflict a stacking hex, lasting 12 seconds. Each hex deals a burst of 1,150 energy damage. When it expires, refresh with new hexes gained. Developer note, Hood's new damage mechanics, stack up a ton of these and cash in for big damage on the heavy attack. So basically, Kabam is sitting here, and they're saying, well, those of you who use Hood, and you've already taken him up, and you've used rank up resources, you should be really excited, because he's going to do a lot more damage potentially. He's going to have a lot more of those exciting, awesome, big yellow numbers that we love to see so much in the contest, right? Well, on paper, that's great. The problem is that Hood is a champion that people don't use for big yellow numbers. They use the champion for a lot more to do with utility. And so, yes, you've got notes on critical hits, 100% chance to inflict a non-stacking stagger passive lasting 5 seconds. When a staggered opponent gains a buff, that buff and all buffs trigger at the same time or nullify. When stagger ends, it inflicts 345.15 direct damage on the opponent and heals the Hood for a matching amount. So, yes, there's still some healing there. But there are so many ticked off people, because I just want to skip to the bottom of this. Because to me, if we're going to talk about reactions, we just got to go to the comments. So first he says no region. That's not quite true, X Factor Agent. I mean, it's definitely not the most ideal region, but there is some region there, right? But RIP core utility from L Vernon 15, that is a big takeaway. Hood is a utility champion, and his core utility is being nerfed to the ground. And that is really negating Kabam's hope of hyping up this champion for more damage output. Crane on the brain. He might be really good for the 626 champion, boss. I'm unclear. If I could stack the invisibility buff somehow, like via buff cornucopia, aka incursions, does each invisibility grants a cumulative 120%. So if I had 2, could I guarantee 7 missed hits before I have to worry? Not sure what to tell you, buddy, but the Colonaut 1, 2, 3, this sums it up. This isn't a buff, it's a nerf. In fact, I might need to use this. Shout out to you, bud. Definitely get your name out. I might use this as a thumbnail because it's the perfect way to sum this complaint up. Not only is it a buff or a nerf, but it's a disaster, right? It is a disaster. And so he already is really good for the champion boss. So some of you have told me this, and that's why you took him up. And I actually have an Awakened Hood as a 6-star as well, although I haven't taken him past rank 1. He's probably worse now, bro. He's already top counter to champion. Now he's not. So, again, hi, guys. Hello. That's the feedback that I'm hearing from so many of you. Wait, so once you're out of bullets, he's useless, so now he's like Diablo? Doesn't sound like a buff. From Pisu Doubter? You know I butchered the heck out of that. Okay, X Factor Agent now realizes, oh, sorry, he does heal. I missed that. It's the smallest piece of text. That's all good. Okay, so basically removed the ability accuracy change from the second special attack. Saddest thing in his opinion for Lilithus. And then this will make him worse for it, but he's already a great option. People have done it with a rank 3 5-star Hood for the 626 champion boss. What's the point of having a limit on his bullets? The only champ that has a limit like that is Diablo, and we all know how people feel about him. Well, he is Stevie Man Wonder, the self-proclaimed alcoholic of the Marvel Casino of Champions. He drinks more than my mom did when she found out she was having triplets. Is that a very dark joke? Yes. Is it also true? Sadly, yes. Okay, so people who actually use Hood are very disappointed and do believe this is a nerf, including me. This is from Glazil. This buff would be good if there simply was still a Fate Seal and AAR off of the special 2. Otherwise, screw this buff, and I'm never touching Hood again. He will just be my Synergy Lackey for Kingpin. Synergy Lackey definitely sounds like the worst superhero name ever. I will say this. When buffs are really nerfs, this is when it is the strongest, fairest argument for rank down tickets in my book. Because you are changing the utility, the usability, and the overall value of a champion going forward and even going back if you're taking on things like the 626 boss. So I totally get that argument, and I think it's justified. And those of you that have used Hood far more than I have, I trust your feedback and I trust your assessment, Cat Murdoch included. So thank you to everybody who hit me up on this. I'd love to read your feedback in the comments below. And what a weird day, right? I mean, that's my takeaway from tonight. Just a really, really weird day.